Well, sit, children. Let me give you the subject of the day.
Guys, welcome back to the Natural Effect Podcast. I'm Nate, and today we've got the organic output for Fieldz' interview. It was an epic interview again, and yeah, we're going to go through it. So I'm definitely going to go visit Fieldz in the Emerald Triangle, see the outdoor grows, see some of the indoor facilities. We're going to document everything so you guys can see. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I haven't actually been that farther up north, as you guys heard on the interview. The furthest I've been is Sacramento. I went there for a foot golf tournament, but I definitely can't wait to get to San Francisco, the Bay, and even go even more north up to the Emerald Triangle. So guys, you heard what Fieldz said. You don't have to be born into cannabis to become a success in the cannabis industry. Like you guys know with myself, a lot of my family, my friends, from the very start of my teenage years, I was already involved in cannabis. I was kind of born into it. So yeah, with Fieldz, it wasn't his journey. He actually got into it as a consumer. And now he has one of the biggest brands in California, which is very inspirational. And you heard how he said it. He started out with a DIY crop, nothing too fancy, did everything by hand, and he didn't even have none of his own genetics. Just started from the get-go. I wanted to actually ask all you guys who are watching, what was the first strain you grew? And what was your first grow? Like, how did you grow it? Was it a proper grow? Was it a DIY, in your shed? How was it? And do you remember the strain? The first time I ever smoked cannabis, I think I was around 15 years old, maybe 15, 14 years old. I was with my friend Sam Jones. Sam Jones actually went to my primary school and my secondary school. He was one of my good friends growing up, and I remember I think we went halves on like a 10 bag or something, and we went and bought Rizzlers from the store, and none of us could roll. We went back to my mum's house, and I remember me and him like trying to roll it up, and it was just a catastrophe. To the end where the only way we could end up smoking it is we ended up rolling it so bad that things were the herb was falling out of the paper, so we had to smoke it like standing up like that because it was just falling out. It was so funny, but yeah, that was the first time I ever smoked. I don't remember what strain it was. It probably was no good. And then shortly after, I started smoking more with my cousin Andy, who's like 5 years older than me. Maybe 6 years older than me. And my cousin Andy was, one of the biggest entrepreneurs in North London at the time. Anyway, very fussy. He's literally the best roller I've ever met till this day. Like, his joints come out perfect. He doesn't even smoke weed no more, which is funny as well. But, yeah, that's when I started first smoking all the different kind of strains. I remember smoking blueberry with him. Sativa from the Yardie Man. I used to love sativa from the Yardie Man. It used to come wet. You'd have to leave it to dry out a little bit, but the smoke on it and the stench that used to come out of those joints was unbelievable. Neville's, which was the first strain I grew, and I smoked a lot of Neville's growing up. Not just Neville straight, but also Neville's Cross Widow. Big up Gas, big up Ragland, the elders who taught me pretty much everything I needed to know. And White Widow, Rhino and Sage, which I have a neighbour, I had a neighbour called Aresti. You guys, everyone from North London knows who I'm talking about. And at the time, he was living on my block, and yeah, he was growing the fire, so I used to link up with him a lot. I was basically a kid. He was my cousin Andy's friend, and he showed me a lot of the top quality strains from back in the day. So yeah, those are some of the strains that I first smoked. And obviously you remember after that the cheeses came along and so on. What strain was the first strain you ever smoked, guys? And yeah, the takeover of Skittles. So the first time I tried Skittles was like 2014-15. And like I said in front of Fieldz, and I say it again, it is, if not my favourite strain, one of my favourite strains. And for me, it's the most dominant strain that we've ever seen in the cannabis industry. Hasn't been out as long as OG, fair enough. But the boom with it and the fact that even the future, I don't see much future without Z. Like all the future crosses are going to have Z in them. Even currently now, all the best strains on the market or the most hype strains on the market are Z crosses. So I'd definitely say Skittles is the most dominant strain we have seen till date. And yeah, I was very impressed with Fieldz' new crosses. I literally only recently have I been able to go through them all. He had so many, and there were so many that he didn't even give me, that didn't even make it to the next round, let's say. But yeah, some of the ones I loved a lot of the Z Cross Z's. Obviously, I thought a lot of them were amazing. The Skittles Cross Watermelon, I remember one of them was amazing. It was very strange because to me it reminded me like a Z cross a biscotti, even though there was no biscotti in it. And one of the other ones I really loved was the Skittles cross Hindu, which was really nice, tasty, and I definitely see a future with them. So yeah, guys, Fieldz and Terp Hogs and Tony Mendo, they've got some amazing things coming. A lot of new strains, a lot of new terp profiles. And I'm very excited to see the future from those guys. Now, we're going to get onto reserving flower, right? And the flavor. So, to begin with, the way you grow the flower is obviously going to be a big aspect of it, you know? Like the medium you use, I prefer soil more than anything. But don't get me wrong, I have seen plenty of fire grown in cocoa, plenty of fire grown in cubes, you know. But for me, soil was my favorite, especially for flavor. Maybe not yields, but after growing it, I think the way to keep the flavor into the flower the best way possible is to really dry it slowly. So make sure you have it in cold conditions and for as long as possible, preferably 2 weeks, maybe 18 days. And yeah, just dry it as slow as possible. It reserves the terps. And then in the end, once it's all dry, I think the best way is just to keep it somewhere dark, room temperature, maybe a little bit below room temperature. And personally, if you have a big batch, I'd keep it in a turkey bag. I think things really cure well in turkey bags, unless you're looking to keep it long term. If you're looking to keep it semi-long term, then I'd say maybe jar it up, but make sure you burp it every so often. But if you are looking to maybe like, you know, say I've got something in August and I wanted to keep it until Christmas, then freezers, probably vaccinating it and putting it in the freezer is probably your best bet. So yeah, that's the best way to preserve flavor in my opinion. And yeah, a lot of it as well, which I didn't mention, a lot of it has to do with the nutrients you're feeding it. You know, for me, veganic no-till is the best, but obviously you can't do it in big projects, but that's the best flavor for me. What new is everyone else growing right now? So you guys tell me, what are you growing? Is there any new strains you're working on? Any new terp profiles? Anything that no one's ever tasted before? What's the future for all you growers and even the consumers out there? What's anything new that you've tasted recently that really blew your mind? And yeah, we're going to go on to OG as well. As I said, my favorite OG is SFV OG. I love the SFV cross TK. The pink, the Kimber was obviously very fire. What else? Elephant Growth do a good OG that I've had. I had maybe like 5-6 months ago, which I tasted, which was nice. And that's pretty much it, you know. Like, I love an OG personally. Great nighttime smoke, great flavor, great buzz. And how can I miss it? Recently, actually, Burning Rope Farms gave me some of these OG. It was incredible. Some of the best OG I've tasted. Burnt incredible, tasted amazing. So yeah, big up to Burning Rope Farms as well. Guys, what's your favorite OG? What is the best OG you've ever had till date? And yeah, I asked this question to Fieldz. That's why I'm going to bring it back and kind of give you my version. I asked Fieldz what he'd be doing if he weren't involved in cannabis. Personally, myself, I don't see no future without cannabis. Maybe now I do. Like, now I wouldn't say I'm a made man, but, you know, I'm very stable and I have lots of opportunities. But growing up in London, where there was not many opportunities and not much vision as well, you know. When you grow up poor in London, I think your vision is just blinded. You listen to rap, you watch gangster movies, and you just want everything ultra quick, and, you know, you're willing to do things outside your morals to do it. Like, when I mean outside your morals, you know, I'm not talking about robbing an old person or killing someone for money. I'm not even just talking about that. I'm just talking about even, you know, like, things outside, things that you wouldn't want to be doing if you had money or if you had opportunities, you know. I'm not talking about things that are like very, very bad, morally wrong things. I'm just talking about in general. And your mind's not in the right place. You're not thinking about how you're going to elevate as a man. So personally, I believe if I never got into cannabis when I did, well, I've always been into cannabis, but if I never started off my brand and started making money from cannabis like I did, then honestly, my future would have probably been very dark. I couldn't tell you exactly what would have happened, but I think being dead or going to jail would have been a high percentage for me. Especially where I grew up, the friends I was around. A lot of my friends ended up going to jail, ended up going in and out of jail constantly. I had a few friends that ended up passing away as well due to, like, you know, being in gangs or having beef on the streets. So yeah, I don't think it would have been very positive for me. And that's why I'd say to all the, not just the boys in London, but, you know, guys from everywhere where it's poor. If you live in a poor area, somewhere where there's not many opportunities, mentors, always have a positive mentor. I used to look up to my dad, but I lost my dad early. So if you don't have a father figure in your life who's actually someone valuable to look up to, then I'd say look into mentors, you know, people that are going to help you elevate in finances, your body, your mental state, and overall someone who you can relate to, you know. But yeah, that's the recap of Fieldz. I'm going to finish with the organic output, and I'll see you guys at the next interview. Guys, have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.